What's up, you guys? Chet-Guthrie, the Dream Poet here, coming to you all from the beautiful White, Georgia. Just down from the road from us is Old Car City, USA, one of the coolest roadside attractions here in the USA. But today, guys, we are going to its cousin, the Tellus Science Museum. Why I say it's the cousin of Old Car City, USA is because both these attractions are right next to each other. One's just up the road, one's right here. Anyway, why we are down here is we are making the pilgrimage to Dragon Con. Yes, my sister and I are heading for our second Dragon Con ever, and I am excited. I'm really hoping I meet Adam the Woo again. Maybe I can build a rapport. Who knows? Maybe build a friendship and a co-worker. But anyway, guys, let's get inside. Let's check out this awesome museum. I'm looking forward to it. So without further ado, you guys, let's do it. But first off, I want to check out some of the stuff that is out here in this parking lot. Like, for example, take a look at this old school, I believe it's part of a old school sawmill. See, they would lift a log loader. There we go. I think it's an old school log loader. You see a lot of these in the Great Smoky Mountains, but this kind of describes a little bit more what it is. It was built in 1925, PH dragline model. The Model 2S6 was the first popular earth moving machine produced by P&H. Oh, it was it's an earth mover. My bad. So awesome. Imagine 1920s. And probably for about 20 years, this thing was in service. It's kind of cool to see that it is still, for the most part, looks like it is in working order. But it looks like the parts would have to eventually be changed out in it. As you all know on my channel, I absolutely love trains. And this right here, it is a train. To be more specific on that, it is a 1913 Whitcomb 15-ton model 15D4 M4 locomotive. So pretty much what it is a diesel locomotive, a small one. It honestly kind of reminds me of the Dinky Line locomotives that I've seen in Tracy City. I really hope that they get those out of that barn. That is so neat. I love it. And well, since it is diesel, there's not really a need for a coal, well, whatever they call it, the coal carrier. But, huh. And oh my gosh, look at this one. Oh my goodness. This thing doesn't even fit in the parking lot. Dude, the wheels on it are ginormous. I mean, look. It's taller than I am, and I'm like 5'9". That's crazy. I wonder if all you would need to drive one of these would be a commercial license. Probably not. You'd probably need more than that, just because you're driving practically something that could destroy a tank. Or a tank without a weapon in it, but or whatever, what have you. But this is just crazy. My inner child is screaming with joy. Okay, now after seeing this and all these other different cars, we are now going to head inside the museum and we are going to check it out. I've always passed the Tellus Science Museum, but I've never been inside of it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So anyway, guys, let's get inside. We haven't even set one foot in here and we're already on to some really awesome stuff. They have a giant pendulum that moves back and forth, and it looks like occasionally it will hit a domino. But as of right now, it does not look like it is going to hit said domino. Oh, dang, it was so close. But to be more specific, it's a Focalance pendulum. How it works: the pendulum's only attachment point is the top of the wire. The bobs move back and forth, always in the same plane, while the earth constantly returns under it. The The pendulum does not rotate. This is the floor under the pendulum that is rotating the Earth. In the northern hemisphere, the pendulum appears to rotate clockwise. In the southern hemisphere, it seems to rotate counterclockwise. The pendulum would eventually stop due to the friction and much lesser extent gravity. It is kept swinging this small. Ah, interesting. Okay, that was a very interesting pendulum. But this is absolutely astounding. They have an Apatosaurus skeleton. Now, I'm not sure if it is complete. I mean, oh, it says Brontosaurus. That's crazy. Dude. Well, I think both of us are wrong. It says Brontosaurus. But I'm guessing this is the only true part of the Brontosaurus that is left. The femur. So, I'm believing that all of this is one big giant recreation. This thing takes up an entire room. Kind of makes you wish that these gentle giants once roamed the earth. That'd be so amazing if it did. But I don't know. I don't think humanity's ready. But then again, I don't know, like I've often heard stories that sometimes they might exist in Brazil, but I don't know about that. The Vineman Mineral Gallery. Yeah, I said that completely wrong. And this is about the biggest geode I think I've ever seen. Apparently this was found in South America. It's an amethyst geode. Like, maybe I can show you all how big it is by standing right here. Okay, this is my reflection. This is how big it is. The thing stands about 10, well actually I'm probably saying about maybe 8 feet tall. It's a very, very big and very expensive rock. How interesting. The meteorite hits the house in Cartersville. I think I remember this story, but it happened March 1st of 2009, but it slammed through a house. I don't think it killed anybody, but anyway, this is very interesting that they have it here on display. And they have the piece of sheetrock that went through it. That is so crazy. It looks like they have more meteorites. Apparently this is a shatter cone. Apparently this one did land in the state of Tennessee. And we've got some more meteorites here. All different types that have fallen out of the sky, like that Gibeon meteorite. That's solid iron right there. It looks like they have more. The Martian meteorite, apparently that one fell in 1998. Correct, yeah, 1998. That's solid iron that fell out of the sky. That is a very large meteor. And I think these are more that have fallen in, I think these are all from Georgia. Probably not. These are so interesting. But check this out. Look at this giant Earth. It's like what is in the inside of the Earth's core. But then again, I mean, science is finding out different things all the time. We're actually starting to think that there is probably more in the Earth than just than all the heat. We're on the crust, the lithosphere, astrosphere, lower mantle, and you would melt if you went right there, and that's super hot right there. You don't want to touch that. What are you doing, Lily? Making an earthquake. Hit this rock. Oh, cool. Watch this. It picks it up. And now this is the biggest piece of copper I've ever seen. This much copper could make over a 1/4 mile inch of 1-inch pipe, 47 miles of 12 gauge wire, 792,000 pure square copper pennies. Oh my God, that is a big giant thing of copper. Float copper boulder, looks like it was found in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. I think I remember hearing about this as a kid. That is the biggest piece of copper I've ever seen. And look, we even have another globe. If you look hard enough, it's moving. Like you can see, like how Pangea was created, how the continents split. Huh. That is definitely cool. And right across from the Earth over there, this is a 1912 Hardinge mill. And how this works is using the mill, William Weinman's company became the first in the United States to grind marble into calcium carbonate products, creating a new industry. This mill is called a cylindro-dryconal mill because of its shape, a combination of cylinder of the two cones. Marble and water are continuously scooped into the mill over a container and called a hopper. Grinding occurs in the drum as it is rotated like a giant tumbler. So, 50. This thing is practically a giant tumbler. Now, it definitely looks like it has been restored. But if y'all are curious what calcium carbonate is used for, well, looks like it's a lot of paint products. Right here they have a turn the cube. Georgia stone is featured in some of the grandest buildings in the United States, used in the interiors and exteriors of the state capitals, financial institutions, and hotels. So these types of granite come from Georgia. When I just see it, I see a big giant block. This one, oh my gosh, that one's heavy. Oh, the thing probably weighs a good 200 pounds. And that is a big giant piece of calcite, pink calcite. This was from New York, or at least so it says. And this right here looks like this is quartz from Oglethorpe, Colorado, Georgia. Oglethorpe County, Georgia. Awesome, this came from Georgia. And that right there is some gypsum. More gypsum. Actually, that kind of looks like that's got a little bit of gold in it. More gypsum. These rocks are gorgeous. Yeah, if you were to go to a collector or to buy these from a store, you're looking at a lot of money. But check this out. This is a piece of petrified wood. Made millions and millions of years ago. I'm like, don't touch, please touch. So it feels soft, nice. And right across from that piece of petrified wood, here is another piece of petrified wood, although this one is way taller. And look, I like how they've cut like down the middle. You can see where opal has started to form. All this is opal, and that's from the inside of a piece of petrified wood. Look right there, you can actually see where there still was some bark left over. Check out the size of this amethyst. Now, I know there are bigger pieces of amethyst out there, but that's big. Apparently this came from Brazil. I think probably weighs just about as much as I do. And that is a really big piece of rock quartz. That came from Arkansas, of all places. Now, I do know that they have diamond. They do have a diamond mine over there. That is a piece of coral, fossilized coral. That was found in, looks like Colorado. Looks like they've got some more examples of what undersea life was like millions of years ago. Like this kaolin, limestone, quartz, geolith, that's iridescent, and oh, cool. And they have a piece of petrified wood. Honestly, it looks like it's a normal piece of wood, but it's not a normal piece of wood. And that kind of sums up where we're going to next. Okay guys, after seeing those minerals, we're now going to a place that I figured, well, my sister told me that I would love the most out of this particular museum. And that is the fossils. Yes, I'm a huge dinosaur person, if you all haven't figured out in the history of my channel. We have just now set foot into this exhibit, and I'm already digging it. This is a giant ground sloth. Imagine way back when, before we had the ground or the sloths of today, this is what you would see, like eating the shrubberies at the bottom. Like, look at the size of those giant hands and those jaws. And it looks like this is the only real piece that they have from the Egomitherium. Who died, well, apparently these things existed over 130,000 years ago. Apparently the bone in there was found in Florida. And the first thing that we see in this exhibit, well, correction, the second thing that we see, we have a megalodon's mouth. Looks like you can touch this tooth right here. Now, I have a megalodon tooth back at the house. I bought it when I still lived in Florida, and I'll tell you, the teeth can get relatively expensive. Not gonna lie. This just goes to show, if you don't know how big a megalodon was, this gives you an idea. It's about the size of a school bus. And that is a giant mammoth. Gives you an example on how big a woolly mammoth was. They were much bigger than your average elephant. Some really large tusks. But here in the display, they do have a piece of correction. This is a mammoth. I don't know what the difference between a mammoth and a mammoth is, but these things lived as late as 11,000 years ago. So yeah, humans would have been around one of these giant things. And right here is a smilodon, or better yet, a saber-toothed tiger. There we go. One of the king hunters of the Ice Age. You would not want to get stuck in its jaws. That would be very, very painful. Apparently they grew up to 6 feet. And, this particular skeleton is over 500,000 years old. And now this is really cool. This is a glyphodon. It's a giant armadillo. Now imagine, you would, like, in today's standards, if you were to see an armadillo like that, you would not want to mess with him, because he could inflict a lot of pain. Because look at that tail. That's all prickly. He could smack you with that. Break bones. But this is what he looks like on the inside. So yes, all of that protects him. This is a fossilized alligator. I'm trying to see where it was. Oh, it was found in Morocco. This thing is pretty well preserved, not gonna lie. You can even see like the backbones of its spine. Or I forgot what the proper terminology of that was called. But that is so cool that they have this on display. And it now looks like we are getting into the beasts of the undersea kingdom. Like the plesiosaur. Oh my goodness. Well, or the proper term, Elasmosaurus. Yeah, there we go, Elasmosaurus. Well, we'll just call it a big giant plesiosaur. Anyway, this is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, Elasmosaurus. Forgive me. Anyway, they often think it to be the Loch Ness monster of from the Mesozoic. Although that has also been proven a hoax, or at least so they say. Although maybe one of these beasts does exist in the Loch Ness area, but I don't know about that. And now this one is for all you Jurassic World fans out there. This is a Mosasaurus. Although the Mosasaur in Jurassic World was nowhere near, well, was way bigger than this. In the movie they said it was genetically modified to be way bigger, but if you look, you can see in the jaw that where part of it has been taken out. But yeah, this is what a mosasaur would have looked like way back when. Now it doesn't look like it's entirely complete, but you gotta think from the depths. Dun, 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 dun. Although T-Rex is still my favorite. Now this is a Tellus, or I don't know how to properly pronounce it, but that is one. That is a giant fish. Imagine if those things existed nowadays. That would absolutely suck to have one of those on the other end of your fishing line. The bulldog fish. They grew up to 17 feet, and I don't know how Z-factinus, Z-factinus. Anyway, yes, we'll just call it big giant fish for short. And now this one, how do you say, I like turtles? I figured I'd do that. This is a prognostica. Anyway, these things grow up to be about 11 feet long, 15 feet wide. Now imagine, in today's world, if you tried saving a turtle that size, you would need a whole hauler just to get that thing out. It's got a big skull too. Now we're finally getting into the Mesozoic era. The Triceratops. All the little, well, not pterodactyls, but they're different species, I guess, of pterodactyl. Lane and baby Lily Triceratops. So this is Lane, the mother, and this is the baby. Not the mama, not the mama. Now check out the size of this Triceratops horn. That was found in, doesn't really give a location. Oh, Wyoming. This particular piece of horn was found in Wyoming. And they have more pterosaurs right here, which I find pretty cool. And apparently this is an Appalachiosaurus. Apparently it looks like a smaller version of a T-Rex, although it's not a T-Rex. Although maybe it's got the two fingers like the T-Rex. Oh, so it is a T-Rex. The southern tyrannosaur. In 2005, after 20 years of research, Appalachiosaurus was introduced by David Schwimmer of Columbus State University in collaboration with other paleontologists. This is one of the most recent additions to the Tyrannosaurus rex family. So that is a T-Rex, just a different subspecies of T-Rex. And this is cool. They have a fossilized Tyrannosaurus rex footprint, or I should say, that's a cast. How interesting. T-Rex footprints are so rarely only found once has been discovered. This footprint was discovered in northeastern New Mexico in 1983. And since we're talking about Tyrannosaurus rexes, here is a T-Rex. And this thing is large. I think in Latin Tyrannosaurus rex means tyrant king. Or tyrant lizard. Anyway, it's just amazing to see one of these up close. That is very, very big. Stan the T-Rex. Looks like he was found in South Dakota. And here's his toe bone. I guess I can't kick him in the toe because his toe's sitting right there in a case. Right over here they have a hadrosaur. I don't know. To me it just seems like these type of dinosaurs are a dime a dozen just because you see so many of them. Or at least maybe that's just me and my experience. And look, they have a Dromaeosaurus. Looks like this was the American raptor. Kind of like a Utah raptor. Yeah, I think this is where the raptors from Jurassic World, where the idea from them came, were these particular species. And we have a Dunkleotius. Dunkleotius. Delacontius. Anyway, pretty much this particular undersea beast, its head was practically like solid iron. It could crush just about anything. I guess you could say that these were kind of like the great whites of the time. Not like a megalodon, but just because they're about the same size. But you wouldn't want to mess with, well, you wouldn't want to mess with a great white either, but, and well, this wouldn't be a complete museum if they did not have a Dimetrodon. Looks like this Dimetrodon was found in Texas, north central Texas. There's its femur. I figured it would have been his humerus, because he looks like he has some humor. Alright, this leads us all to the last exhibit for the day. Throughout time, mankind has tried to find different ways of transportation, whether it be from horses or to stone-wheeled carts pulled by cavemen. Well, this is what started us in the early days of the 19th century. This is an 1886 Benz Patent motor wagon. And this right here, this is the Shaw motorbike, invented in 1912. It was a one-cylinder engine that would power up the entire bike. So imagine, this thing could fly practically way back in those times. That's like 111 years ago. But none of that is comparable to the Wright brothers. Now, I highly doubt that this is the original. The original is at the Smithsonian up in Washington, D.C. But the first flight was taken by Orville and Wilbur Wright on December 17th of 1903. And this is all from what I understand, a really awesome replica. This was the first type of flight. It's amazing to think that a little engine like that could produce flight. And it's amazing how far we've come in society, especially like the planes of today, like we have, or the electric cars. Elon Musk's electric car, probably one day it will probably put the gas engine out of an obsolescence. It's probably going to take much longer than 20 years. It'll probably be like 50. But just think about that. This flying contraption was the very first one of its kind, and look how that worked. They had propellers, and those propellers could send them flying. And look at this little midget locomotive, a 1905 Cagney Class E steam locomotive. It's so little, but I think it was. I don't think this is a scale model. I think this thing was actually used at one point, but I don't think so. I mean, it's just so little. I mean, it kind of looks like one of those, like one of those trains you'd see at at a theme park or amusement park that would take you around the park. At least I'm guessing, but then again, you never know. That's crazy to think. Or it might just be, well, just a miniature. Huh, this is cool. Electricity. Or poke it. I like doing that. Okay, I'm gonna quit now. Cool, and they have an old school helicopter. Now I wonder, like, it'll probably tell me when this one was first really put together. But look at that dome shape. Apparently it is a 1948 Bell 47 helicopter. Apparently this is the most popular helicopter ever built. Originally designed for the military, it became the first helicopter to certified for commercial in 1947. Interesting. So this thing was the first real commercial helicopter. It's like a big giant bubble. I imagine probably you'd see a lot of news stations using something like this. At least, I'm guessing. And now we are entering space. Project Mercury. Apparently this is the Mercury capsule. Huh. Looks like it's not supposed to be written in, as it says. I think that, yeah, it's just a mock-up. That is so cool. It's a pretty interesting replica that I have there. Imagine that's one of the first things that took us to space. And right here they have a Soviet space jumpsuit. Mother Russia. Looks like they have another Soviet Sokol KM rescue suit. Made in 1973. Wonder why they can't get like American space suits. Maybe they're communists. Right across from the space suits, they have the Apollo 1 command module. Now, the Apollo 1, it did not end in the best of manners. It was a fire that took place. And here on this display and this reproduction, it kind of shows that. Like, for example, it'll show you the inside of it, the burns, what this thing was like going down. Here it shows some pictures of that one day after the fire, burned exterior, and this was the Apollo 1 crew. Anyway, this kind of explains what happened. On January 27th, the crew of the first planned Apollo flight died in a training accident. An electrical short circuit started a fire in the command module during a routine pre-flight exercise. Within the seconds, the cabin was engulfed in flames. The hatch proved too difficult to open, making escape impossible. As a result of the tragedy, NASA suspended the manned space flights and ordered to conduct an investigation. The findings prompted a major redesign of the command module, making it safer and more reliable. Now, that often does make me wonder what happened to Apollo 1. Because, you know, you always hear about Apollo 1 and you always hear about the various flights that went to the moon. But the first one you really don't hear a whole lot about. And well, that kind of summed up what happened. Great Scott, lunar sample 15555. This moon rock is a piece of the largest specimen collected during the Apollo 15 mission. It is dubbed Great Scott for its collector, astronaut Dave Scott, originally weighing just 21 pounds. Over 21 pounds. Many slices have been taken from it for analysts for exhibitions and museums around the world. So here is a space rock from the moon. Lunar sample 15555. And it looks like it is 3.3 billion years old. So I'm standing next to something that is way older than I am, and something that is also from the moon. So this is just awesome that they have a moon rock here at the museum. Very amazing. The moon rock case and rock hammer. Apparently this went to space too. That's what carried the rocks. The Apollo Lunar Module Ascent Engine. So this is what pushed the engine back onto Earth's atmosphere. Cool. And they also have the wheels. Thick rubber. This is from the I figured it's from the Atlantis. These are the type of wheels that the Atlantis had as it would touch down, and they were made by the Michelin company. It's a lot of thick plastic. And this is really cool. This is a Jetstar control panel. This is the inside of a plane. This is what you would see inside a plane. Jetstar control panels. I think that's for those that are operating a plane. That's what they would see. The 1967 Lockheed Jetstar. Although they don't have a full plane, they got a chunk of it. That was a cool museum. I was not expecting to see all that. It made me feel like I was back in Washington, D.C. I haven't been to Washington since I was 13, but that just reminded me so much of the Smithsonian.
It's
a lot of
partnered with the Smithsonian.
Oh, Lily says it's partnered with the Smithsonian. That's probably a big reason why. But anyway, you guys, this is going to be another vlog for another day. Hope you all enjoy it. Hope you all enjoy my Dragon Con video. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, love you all very much. Remember, if you like the video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. Always means a lot. Goes to show that y'all care and that y'all want to see more awesome videos. So without further ado, you guys, this vlog is over.